Hello, hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Pop the chat out. There we go. All right. So, as I said before in the community post I made this week, we are going to be testing out your guys' designs in SimpleRockets 2. So, I've gotten so far 9 responses to the Google sheet that I sent out, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of these. The first guy that I got was from K just draws, and he submitted something called the Crude Interplanetary Transfer Vehicle. It looks like a pretty big guy, so we're going to go ahead and test this out in game. Mr. Foxy, good to see you again. Excalibur, good to see you as well. Oh, wow, look at this. This is a pretty intense craft right here. All right, so we've got, let's just take a look. Before we launch it, let's actually take a look, see what we've got. We've got what looks to be a habitation module up here at the front. Let's see if any of these parts are named. Nope, it's a giant battery, which weighs 500,000 tons. Or 500, not 500,000, just 500 tons. That's a lot. Big xenon fuel tank here. Looks like we've got 2 landers sitting up here. More Carolox fuel tanks. A lot of Carolox fuel tanks here. And then this mighty impressive engine. So we've got several Carolox full-flowed liquid engines here. It looks like they're clipped together. So we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably looks like 6. I'd guess 6 symmetry. And then we have a ion thruster here with the 250% fuel consumption. Pretty low power compared to the other engines. But yeah, looks pretty intense overall. We're going to go ahead and launch this guy, although I don't think we're going to be able to get it off the ground. Andy Black, no, I haven't really given a lot of consideration to making a Starship system. I've had several people ask me if I would, but my response has always been the same. I'm just not interested in making one myself. I don't know. It's just not something that I really want to do. You know, it's kind of his thing, I guess. I think there are more interesting things that I can build in game. I mean, it would be kind of cool to do a Starship system, and I think the Starship system in real life is super cool. Um, but I think there are other things that are maybe a little bit more engaging to do. So let's see, where is a good place we can launch from? I guess I don't have any space launch options right now. Um, Actually, here's what we'll do. Because we can't really test this guy out just on the ground. We've got to get him into space first, and I don't think we can just launch him as one, continuous chunk. Let's load craft real quick. One of these guys will do. Oh, let's do my auto launch spaceship that I had loaded up earlier. We're gonna go ahead and just launch this guy into orbit real quick, and then we will, once it's in orbit, we will save that location as a launch location, and then relaunch the other craft. Whoa! Oh, maybe this guy's broken. Maybe I shouldn't use this one yet. He's still in development. Let's try using a rocket that I know will work. Lootcraft. Let's see. This guy I know will launch just fine. Mr. Foxy, it was good to see you. Have a nice night. Alright, we're going to launch this guy like 5 times speed real quick. Just a real quick launch. Nope, whoop, whoop. Hold on. Redo that. I clicked on the wrong target node and it sent it towards the ground instead of towards space. Let's try that again, but I'm going to do that. There we go. Alright, we're going to just really quickly get this into space. Nothing fancy about this launch. This is just to get something, just to get a launch point for us to actually launch that much larger interplanetary craft that he submitted. And we will warp up ahead to Apoapsis real quick. $450. Yeah, that's good right there. Okay, we will save location, Droo orbit, and flight. Okay, yada yada. And reload the submitted craft, the crewed interplanetary transport vehicle. Okay, now we're going to launch this from the orbit location to make it a lot easier to test this guy out. Relaunch. Droo orbit. There we go. Alright, we are in orbit. I'm going to time warp around so we can get a look at this thing in space. Alright, we've got this guy in space. Let's take a look at him now. Now that he is in the light of day, we've got 2 landers we could test out. I could actually send these guys to one of the moons around Droo. We've also got plenty of fuel for maneuvers. Let's play around with the command group to see how it's laid out. So there's a bunch of parachutes. Looks like 4 parachutes per lander, which is cool, but not really useful right now. I don't know how to put those away. We'll actually, let's adjust the staging real quick. Get rid of those parachutes because I don't want to be deploying them in a vacuum. Boom, yes, I do remember that we are going to have an astronaut in your honor. I do recall that, don't worry. Okay, engines here, parachutes last. Interstage, engines. There we go. That'll probably do. We'll try launching this guy again now. I do want to test out some of the landers as well, so maybe we can do a quick little flight over to one of the other planets here. It is a cool looking craft. Let's fly it over to let's see. Brigo's probably going to be one of the easier ones to get to. We can try that out. Let's set up a maneuver here. And then we can deploy a lander and see how well these guys handle. And there's our intercept. Oop, too much. Let's back that off a little bit. Right there. That's good. Lock it. Alright, so there's our engine going. Pretty stinking powerful with like 6 full flow liquid oxygen or full flow Carolox engines. Pretty powerful. Yeah, it's got 79 kilometers per second of delta V, but that is largely from the Xenon engine on board, the Ion engine, which is very efficient but very low thrust. So these engines probably aren't going to have as much to offer as there we go. Do we overshoot that a little bit? Did I hear about Simple Planes VR? I did. Yeah, I did hear about it. I don't have a VR headset though, and I don't play Simple Planes all that much, so it's not exactly the biggest news to me. Okay, let's delete this burn. There, we've got our orbit. Gonna go ahead and keep burning, or keep my craft pointing retrograde as we come into Brigo's sphere of influence. Where is it? There it is. Here she comes. We are in orbit above Brigo. Now, what I'm going to do is orbital, do radial in. Oh, do we not have any more Carlox fuel on this guy? Carlox? Hold on. I want to fill. What's the deal here? Oh, I'm still on time warp. That's why. There we go. Hey, Cagestraws. Yeah, we're testing out your craft today. And so far, it is doing pretty good. We're taking it on a quick little test flight to one of the moons of Droo here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do our orbital insertion, which is pretty cheap. The nice thing about these low gravity bodies is that all your maneuvers are pretty cheap. You don't have to put a lot of fuel into them. There we go. Let's actually adjust our orbits slightly here. Just bring that apparatus up a bit. Yeah, the ion engines take a little work to make useful. It's not inherently an easy engine to use. You've actually got to do a lot of planning to make them worth using. There we go. So we are in orbit now. Let's go ahead and deploy one of our landers here. Let's also not use up all of our fuel. Okay. So we've got one lander separated. I'm going to go ahead and lock it in the retrograde direction. We'll get clear of the launcher. Power up the engine. All right, so we are moving towards the ground at this point. How long have I played this game before? If you're talking about like when I first started playing, oh, it's been a couple of years now. I think 2018. No, it would have been even before 2018. I was playing it in high school. Geez, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many years it's been. I think I started playing it in either 2016 or 2017, which is when I was in high school, and I'm now graduated from college. So it has been a long time that I've been playing the game. Okay, we are on our descent. 7,000 meters up. I'm going to go ahead and light the engines again. Is there any landing gear that I have to work with here? It doesn't look like it. Ooh, we may be coming down a little hot on this landing now. Oh, no, we might be able to make it. 180, 170, 160. Ooh, this is going to be close. 150, 40. No, we'll make it. We've got this. I timed it right. We're on a good descent trajectory here. 100 meters per second falling. 50, 40, 30, 20. Okay. Just try and keep our velocity constant here as we drop. Bring my throttle back a little bit more. So far, so good. Whoa! Stay upright. Stay upright. Oh, this thing has big gyroscopes in it, doesn't it? Okay, let's deploy our solar panels. And unlock, because the craft's trying to fight it. Nice. So it is on the ground. It's got wheels for landing gear, which is an interesting choice. and the solar panels are kind of clipping, but we've got one lander down. I'm glad that you found the engine tutorial useful. I made it to be useful. So we've got one lander down. Let's go back to our interplanetary cruiser. Take control of this guy. See if there's any other features on it. We've got two landers. The ship itself, we've got lots of fuel tanks, which are always good to have. Looks like we've got a couple of docking nodes as well. I'm going to guess, I don't exactly know what this little dongle is supposed to be. Let's time warp around. Here we go. So we've got like a full-size docking port here. That's normal. Or actually, that's a little big for a docking port even. Solar panels. Crew spaces, I'm going to guess. Yeah. All right. Hey, well, that is a pretty slick craft. We do have crew. Oh, we've got lots of crew. Jeez. Let's see. Let's get this guy going. One of the fun things about Brigo and TT is that the gravity is so weak that you can pretty much, let me change camera, there we go, line up retrograde and use your jetpack to deorbit yourself. Let's see, I've got some fuel reserves. 73% fuel. %60 fuel. See, I'm falling out of orbit now. Our crewman is out of orbit. Let's go ahead and time warp. Line up our. Okay, we are out of fuel, and he is falling. I think. Hold on. I'm not just going to send this guy to his death, though. We're going to do a little cheat code. Time. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Normally I don't use cheat codes, but since we're doing this just for the sake of being silly, go ahead and use them this time. Okay, we'll go ahead and time warp. We're dropping down now. We're doing a totally manual descent here with our Droo knot. Got to point in the right direction here. Here we go. You've been using wheels for landing gear. That's interesting. It seems a little bouncy for my taste. I think I stick with the base game landing gear, although I have done some custom landing gear in the past for certain designs. Okay, we are at 1,000. Let's go ahead and boom. We are pretty much locked on for descent here. Oop, too much. Let him drop back down here. Boom. We can manually get down onto the planet. And I also think using some infinite fuel for the jetpack, we can get pretty much into orbit just with the guy. Hold on, let me see if I can. There we go. Are we in orbit yet? Not quite. We're at 20,000 kilometers apoapsis. 100 kilometers, that's a little too much. Let's drop our speed a little bit. 30 kilometers, that's good. We just need to ascend to apoapsis. Here we go. And then finish getting into orbit here with our solo astronaut. Boom. 23. All right, we are in orbit with our astronaut. Totally flying solo here. The power of jetpacks, guys. Don't underestimate them. Okay, that's enough silliness with this design. I think it's really cool. I'm going to go ahead and post the link to this craft in the chat, if that's all right with you, Kay, and we will let everyone else take a look at it. I'm also going to go to the page, give it an upvote, because I thought it was good. I give it a, let's see, out of a scale of 10, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. And here is the link to it for you guys to check out. Please go and upvote it. It was definitely a worthy craft for submission. Next up, we're going to take a look at a craft submitted by Somin. I have no idea what it is. He calls it the Arekin. Oop, did not mean to rip its wing off. Pretty interesting right off the bat. That is a very sleek looking fighter. I like the danger intake arrows. Those are always a nice touch. Don't know what these patterns are, but they're neat. So it's a twin engine, kind of like modern fighter. Let's go ahead and give it a launch. Oh, it glows. Now that is pretty slick. All right, well, this is not the environment to be testing a air-breathing craft. Let's relaunch. Let's go desert base runway 10 long. Check it out down there on the ground. All right, let's also time warp. Get some light on the scene here. There we go. All right, let's test this guy out. I've got my nav ball up. And you know what I do have, actually? Where's that guy? Look, it is tangled up here in the cords, but I've got an actual joystick we can fly this guy with, which I think will enhance the experience. Gotta quickly configure the controls, though. Let's end flight, or relaunch it. But now with this guy plugged in, and give it a shot. Let's see. Check the control surfaces. Unresponsive. Okay, we gotta actually go into the settings real quick. I highly recommend if you have a joystick, you should use a joystick. They are a ton of fun, but you do have to calibrate them sometimes. Stick X. Yaw. We're not gonna do yaw. Nope. Remove that. I don't want that. Yeah, we'll just leave that. Left shift. Throttle will be our throttle there. Okay, done. Close. Now we should be... Yeah, we've got control surfaces tuned in here. Let's go ahead and fly this puppy. Oh, we have even a little nose camera. That is very convenient. Let's want to time warp again to get some daylight. There we go. And we're off. Throttle up. A little touchy on the yaw, but we are off the ground. Well, maybe we're off the ground. A little tricky to get to take off there. Whoa, okay, so it is super sensitive to control inputs. I'm using... Boy, I don't even want to know what it'd be like to... Yowzer, this thing is a little bit overpowered. Okay, let's slow down for a second. Man, we are cruising in this thing. We're already at 700 meters per second, and it pretty much doesn't want to cooperate with my flight controls. So it is a little tricky here. Let's see if we can find the airbase. One good test. There are a couple of good tests to see how good an airplane is in this game. It's like really push the maneuverability of it at full speed, and then the other thing is seeing how well it climbs at high altitude, how well it handles, close to a vacuum, and how easy it is to land. And this guy, I think, is going to be tricky to land here because it is really sensitive. Yeah, so those huge control surfaces are just way, 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 way more than anyone in their right mind would want on an actual plane. It's cool looking though. I like it. It's just really tricky to fly. We're at 20,000 meters now, 23,000 meters ASL. Starting to lose air, lose thrust, lose pitch control. Oh, we're still going pretty strong. But yeah, I can't really control this anymore. I'm going to go ahead, throttle all the way down. We're going to let it cruise. There's the desert air base. And we have entered a flat spin, which is always a good time. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. See if we can get it out of the flat spin. Oh, almost. All right, let's actually try applying some thrust with the engines. Not a good place to be in for an airplane. We are only accelerating the flat spin. This is not looking good for maneuverability here. All right. Let's relaunch it. Okay, so it has not passed the first test, which is high atmosphere flight. That was probably the worst thing that an airplane could do in a situation like that. Starting to look like Goose from Top Gun there. Okay, let's warp time forward here. There we go. And we'll take off again. Oh, gotta unfreeze time. Okay, let's see if I can get off the ground without it freaking out. And I was. So we'll take it for a short jaunt. Oh, geez, this is rough. Okay, doing good. There we go. All right, we're in a steady flight configuration now, 800 meters per second, crazy fast. Any faster, it's going to start burning the plane. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around now. We're going to try and land it back at the airfield. Ooh, if it'll cooperate enough to turn around. There we go. Okay, got the airfield in sight. We are going too fast. I'm going to kill throttle. And try and bleed some speed here. This thing is fighting me though. It's wanting to roll without any input. It's wanting to roll, which is not good. So I'm going to have to fight that roll input the whole way in. Okay, we're going to go ahead, deploy landing gear. Almost there. Here we go. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit easier to control, but I've got to make very gentle adjustments on the control surfaces. Okay. Ooh, this is going to be tough. All right, slow down speed. Or no, don't slow down speed. Look at that shadow, though. Okay. Oh, too much. Appears to be a good dogfighter. Well, it would be a good dogfighter if it could fly in a controllable manner, but I am seriously having trouble keeping this thing under control, and I can't land it. I just can't get it towards the ground in a controlled manner. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to crash here. Just going to try and kill all of our velocity. Those huge wings means it's got a lot of lift, but yeah, it's not a super controllable craft. So here's what we're going to do. Let's fix it. Let's make it a better craft. Epic shaders. The fact he hasn't said anything makes me think it's only in the stream. What are you guys talking about? So you guys are talking about something behind my back. All right, hold on. We're gonna address this actually. I'm gonna get rid of these wing decals for now. So the first thing that needs to happen here is we've got to tune down these. Control surfaces. These are both roll control. Okay. No, this is a roll, and this is pitch. I think. Which one is which? Really strange bug. Okay, hold on. You got me. What am I missing here? Got to go back and look at the live stream. Oh, I just realized something. This isn't configured right. You guys are seeing the live chat box, but you're not actually seeing the live chat. Let me fix that. There we go. Okay, I don't know why that was sitting there. Yeah, if there's any other weird bugs, please let me know, because I don't always catch things on the output end of this stream. The ground is all back is what you guys were talking about. That is weird. It definitely wasn't all black in my point of view. Weird. Strange. Well, if it happens again, we'll take a look at it and see if we can address it. But in the meantime, I'm going to try and fix this. So we're going to make the wings, let's see, a little less crazy. What's this control surface up here? Auto. Okay, we're going to delete that. We'll add a control surface. These can be roll as well, but they do not need to be that big. Terrain glitch. Okay, gotcha. Well, we will take a look. It looked fine on my end. Maybe it was just a temporary thing. All right, let's reflect these, make them. There we go. That's one. Oh, this is already mirrored. Never mind. Don't have to reflect that one. Let's take a look at our center of mass, center of lift. Okay, center of mass and center of lift are lined up properly. Put a little bit more space between them. Yeah, we'll see if that happens again. If it is like that, take a screenshot and like put a link to it, and I'll take a look at it. Huh. Very strange. Very, very strange indeed. I don't know. Sounds like the game's broken. In the meantime, let's take a look at these engines. These engines are like super overkill for this guy. Chat's on top of the menus, making it hard to read. Well, why don't I adjust that for you? How's that? Can make simple fixes to these things if you guys ask for it. Oh, it's attached like that. That is weird. Okay, undo that. Maybe I won't mess around with the engines too much. Can I do like a throttle limiter on the engines? Is that a thing? Let's just turn off afterburners on these guys. And then self. Oh, not what I wanted again. I just want to pull the engine back. Thank you very much. Okay, we got one. Let's zoom in and grab the other engine. Okay, two. Everything should be symmetrical. Nothing should be different. Excellent. All right. Glad that was a simple fix for you guys. Now, tell me, does the ground look weird still? Because I have... Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks totally normal to me. It just looks like the regular desert air base. Not really sure what the issue is. Oh, although I do see one issue. Did you guys catch this one issue with the wings here? Maybe you didn't catch it. It's pretty hard to see, but if you're a real expert at the game, you may notice a little discrepancy with the wings here, in that one of them is way, way, way out of alignment. Let's go fix that now. Cage of Straws, you said yes. Are you saying yes to the ground looking properly? It's still back. Still black. Huh. Well, you know, guys, I am not sure what the issue is. Pedro, you're a game developer. You tell me what the issue is here, because everything is looking good on my end. Let's see. Okay, I want to grab... Well, first I want to break symmetry. There we go. And then let's just manually attach this to the side of the fuel tank real quick. There we go. All right. Okay. Think I fixed it now. Let's give this plane test flight now. Okay. Excalibur, here's your chance to get a screenshot. Let me real quick. Let's go to the visual settings. Maybe it's like the... Oh, didn't mean to go full screen. Don't want to go full screen. There we go. Close. Okay. How does that look? I just kind of reset the settings. Oh, I'm looking at the output here. I'm definitely seeing what you guys are seeing now on the output side. That is super wonky. That plane didn't work. Alright, I think I'm going to give this plane a rest. I don't think this is going to work properly. Yeah, that is super weird. Let's pick another launch location. But before we pick another launch location, let's pick another craft. We've played around with that one enough. I'm going to go ahead and post a link to this aircraft here for you guys to take a look at. It was the AREKKEN. I'll actually type that in the chat. Go ahead and take a look at that if you want. It was a pretty interesting craft, but definitely some major flaws that needed to be addressed there. The next one we have up, and again, I haven't taken a look at any of these in advance, is from a player named Samyak. And it is called the Rohini RH560. Let's check this guy out now. Oh, that's weird. He sent me a sandbox link. Interesting. So it looks like we've got a little, what is this, a 2-stage launch vehicle here? Orbit. Let's actually let it fly. Oh, do I still have MLI on? Yeah, that might be why it's not running out of fuel. There we go. So it looks like we've got a little 2-stage. Are these solid rocket motors? Yep, solid rocket motors, which are good and all, except for when you are in a vacuum. Otherwise, this would be a pretty good launch vehicle, but I'm not able to control it right now. Or throttle it. So that's a bit of a challenge. There we go. So go ahead and separate that stage. Was that a fairing that just flew off? That wasn't the payload, was it? What's in here? Yeah, so that's a fairing. Okay, so it's an interesting little, like, very small solid rocket booster craft. But, not seeing a whole lot to do with this here. Since he sent me a sandbox, I can't, like, look at it in the editor or anything. And those are all the stages. So, cool concept, but, not much I can do with it aside from launch it. If you guys want to check out the sandbox that he sent me, actually, before we do that, there's got to be something else out here too. Or is it just the one? Yep, just the one ship. Okay. Well, I will post that in the chat for you guys to take a look at if you want to. And let's take a look at the next one. So we've got the Axiom luxury van. Now this was sent to me by someone on Reddit, and he specifically asked not to share it with you guys, that it was some sort of exclusive thing. So I'm not going to be able to share this one with you, but I do want to check it out. I've seen some photos of this. Oh, hold on. Uh-oh. We're having some issues here. I'm going to post it into the website. Let's see if I can pull it up on the website. Uh-oh. Link's broken. That sucks. Well, shoot. I was actually looking forward to seeing that one. Unfortunate. Okay, well, if we can't do that, we will move on to the next one. We have Saturn 1B Apollo 7. Looks like a remake model from the description from that flying boy. So let's check this guy out. And what do you know? It's a Saturn 1B replica. Nice. Let's take a look. It looks really good as far as level of detail goes. I don't know about the fuel tank pattern here on the sides, if that's actually what the Saturn B looked like. I thought it was just one solid fuel tank. But if my memory fails me and that's accurate, kudos to you for getting it accurate. Beautifully done. It really does look really good. Let's check the staging real quick before we launch it. So we have 8 main engines. That's good. An inner stage and 4 engines. So that is our crew escape system. Inner stage. We've got our first vacuum engine. Then 2 inner stages. Interesting. And then we have another inner stage up top here. Oh, that's got to be a payload area. Okay, and then let's actually zoom in on this. What's in here? Is there anything in here? It doesn't look like there's anything in there, but we do have our upper stage, and we have our final inner stage for the command module. All in all, pretty intense looking craft. I mean, this thing is really detailed. Let's give it a flight. I actually want to test this guy out. Okay, tell me now, is there anything wrong with the shaders or the textures here? Go ahead and take a look now. I'm not, it looks fine on my end. I'm trying to check the output here. No, it looks fine on your guys' end too, I think. Can't really tell. Does the grass look funky at all? I mean, everything looks perfect to me. Yes, okay. Everything looks good. Awesome. So it must be something with the desert base then. I don't know what the deal is with that. I've never seen that shader error or that glitch before, so that's super weird. But as long as it's just maybe that one launch center is all funky, whatever, not a huge deal. We're going to go ahead and launch this bad boy and see what it's got. Throttle is up, and we are away. It's still broken? Shoot. Well, that sucks, but as long as it's just the terrain, you know, the nice thing about a space game is if the terrain looks a little wonky, just get away from the train. Okay, we are in the air with this replica, and so far so good. It is, well, it's going a little crooked though. Let's take some roll control over here. Pretty slow acceleration. Starting off, what are we getting here? Now we're getting a thrust to weight ratio of 2, which is good. We go ahead and pitch over more. Yeah, just saying yes is when I asked like a not yes or no question is a little confusing, but it's all good. If the game looked like that, I wouldn't play it either. Problem is, it doesn't look like that. To me, it looks perfect. I'm running it at the highest graphics quality setting. It's got to be something on the broadcasting system that I'm using. That's maybe the stream compression, or I don't know. It could be any number of things there that's messing that up. Okay, we are almost escaping atmosphere. The one issue I'm having with this guy is it's really wanting to roll on me, which I don't want it to do right now. Let's pull up our orbit details. A little high of an orbit. Launch escape system is away. That is a very nice separation there. Go ahead and separate the main stage and ignite our upper stage engine, which is a Hydrolox engine. Nice. I don't know if the actual Saturn 1B used a Hydrolox, but let's see here. Zakir, you say it looks fine on your end? Yeah, I don't know. That is a super weird visual glitch. Having trouble controlling this craft, but at least we are rolling, so that's a positive. Let's go ahead and throttle up here. I guess we don't have any gyroscopes on this thing. Yeah, I don't have any roll control either, which is a bit of a bummer. So it's a little hard to fly. Although I think we've got it under control here. Almost into orbit now. We are at 2,500 meters per second delta V, although we were coming back down slowly. Here we go. 3,200. There we go. In orbit. Let's do a little bit of a circularization, although I think we're off. Yeah, we're a little off here. Gonna go drop our periapsis. No, raise our periapsis. Want to raise to circularize here. There we go. Lock and burn. There we go. Awesome. Well, aside from some very minor issues with control while getting into orbit, it flies pretty well. I do like the shrouds around the engines. That is very, very tastefully done design there. Let's see what the next stage looks like. Oh, okay, I see what this was. So they had two inner stages because the Saturn rockets, I believe, you had your stage separate, but then you also had like a little connecting ring that would separate as well. So that's what the two inner stages were for. And then, yeah, it looks like there was going to be maybe something you would store in here, but right now it's just the engine and the inner stage. Go ahead and separate that. And we have the actual module now. Let's go ahead and lock prograde. We'll do a couple orbits for the mission. Okay, we'll flip around retrograde. Let's start looking for a good landing zone. We want to probably splash down in the ocean. Where is Droo Space Center? Wrong side of the planet. You know what? Let's let it get back onto the right side of the planet. Here we go. Okay, so I want to splash down right around the drone ship. That's the goal here. So we're going to time warp to about there. Go ahead and activate our engines. And I want my my collision to be kind of out around here, farther out into the ocean, because as we pass through the atmosphere, we'll slow down more, and that'll bring it in. Got a very low thrust engine here. This is burning Methalox. So we've got Carolox, Methalox, and Hydrolox on this guy, which that I don't think is accurate to the actual Saturn B, but it does lend itself to being a pretty cool rocket. What is this? This is a pressurized stage fuel cycle engine. Nice. Okay, so we are coming down now. I'm going to actually keep burning a little bit longer because I realize our orbit's pretty high here. We're not going to hit atmosphere for little whiles. Yeah, I'm going to try and put it between the drone ship and the Space Center itself. That's what I'm aiming for. So we're just going to... Can't really time warp any faster than 5 times speed already, so just going to let this play out for a second. We are on our way down. I really like the reflective surfaces on these guys, though. They look really good. Especially with the visual update, it looks real nice. Okay, we are literally not decelerating at this point, which is strange. I guess the thrust is just so low on this guy. So we're going to overshoot the center by a little bit. I mean, you can see it going right under us right there. And the drone ship should be passing under us momentarily. There it is. There's the drone ship flicking by on the screen. Okay. Let's detach the fuel tank. And we have no control surfaces and no parachute. So this will be a relatively short mission because we are just falling at this point. This isn't even a command pod. This is just a fuel tank that's been angled. Do I have, like, are those RCS thrusters or something? Yeah. No command authority at this point. That's fine. You know, we're just going to let it fall. We'll have a splashdown. We'll see if any parts survive. But pretty sure this will be fatal to the crew. Okay, 30, 20, 10, 9. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was like 2,000 meters per second squared of acceleration there. That's a bunch of broken necks. Not a survivable landing. But it was a pretty cool craft. I'm going to go ahead and post that one if you guys want to take a look at it. That was the Saturn 1B Apollo 7 rocket. Here's the link in the chat, and it was made by That Flying Boy. So if you want to check it out on the website, go ahead. Next up, we've got a True Reuse Falcon 9 by Chaotic Graviton. That is a familiar name. So we're going to go ahead and throw this guy into the game. Let's check it out. If it'll load, if it'll load. Here we go. All right, so we've got a True Reuse Falcon 9, which I guess means that you can land and reuse it. I would hope that's what that means. Double check our staging here. Staging piston, interesting. SR2, or stage 2 fairing. Inner stage. Are we missing an engine, though? Interesting. We've got an engine here, but I'm not seeing a stage activation. Does it have a control group? Nope. Weird. Well, let's actually throw this in as an engine. There we go. Let's see. S2 Merlin 1D. We'll put that guy here. There. Use activation group 9 after launching. Well, let me double check that real quick, but I don't believe that it's bound to an activation group. Yeah, nope, it's not bound to an activation group. You may have made a slight mistake when loading this, although I want to double check this. Is there a command ship that I need to look for here? There it is. Edit activation groups. Okay, here we go. Quite a few activation groups. We're going to have to think through this. We've got grid fin deploy, grid fin control, staging, don't touch. Okay, won't touch that. Recovery ports, gyros. Oh, this is an automated craft. Oh, well, if this is automated, let's reload it. Double check that the staging is set. I want to actually, if this is automated, let's take a look at its program. Edit. Come on. Here we go. Look at that. Oh, dang. Now that is a lot of busy programming right there. That is quite something. All right. Let's see if this guy works. Yeah, I didn't realize this was automated. But since it is, let's try it out. I think I reset it too, so everything should be just as it's supposed to be. All right. All right, Horizon Innovation, this is your craft. Just launch and use AG9. So by just launch, do you mean just throttle up and activate? Let's see if the code takes over. Is it supposed to be spinning like that? Okay, well, it's probably not supposed to be spinning like that because it's actually destroying itself now. Wow, yeah, that is... Oh, after it loads, you just need to hit activation group 9. Gotcha. Okay, well, we will relaunch then. Yep, tracking. I'm tracking. As soon as it loads, we'll just press 9 to see what happens. Although that was a pretty impressive little spin maneuver it pulled off right there. Okay, let us pull that up. Press 9. Here we go. Please please set a value above 100,000, else the code will auto divert to the closest available orbit. Gotcha. We'll do 150,000. And 150,000 as well. Input the desired orbital inclination. We'll do an inclination of 0. Please input the number of desired landing sites for the first stage. Okay, so we'll do DSC landing pad, DSC landing pad. We'll do the drone ship. If you already have a drone ship craft set up, please type yes. If you have not set up the drone ship, please type no and follow instructions. I'm going to say yes. I believe it's please target drone ship craft. Okay. Map. Drone ship. Got it. Okay. Drone ship craft is targeted. There we go. Orbital parameters for mission 150, 150, 0, drone ship recovery mode, payload. Go if you want to proceed with the launch. I will press go. Let's see what this guy's got. Awaiting liftoff. T minus 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have liftoff. All right. Let's see what this thing's got. It is still spinning, and that is a bit concerning because that's what happened last time. Oh, no, it managed to correct the spin. There we go. Spoke too soon. We're slightly spinning the other way now. Let's pull up the flight panel and see what we've got over here. Need to use a landing pad. Didn't send me a drone ship. Well, there is a drone ship out there, so assuming that it allows me to use the one here, we'll see what happens. If not, we can relaunch it and use a landing pad if this doesn't work. Awesome, though. This looks really good so far. We've got, I assume, to be a nominal launch trajectory. This isn't my craft, so I don't really know. Okay, it's doing some maneuvers here. That's probably not right, though. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm going to guess this is not part of the flight profile. Let's relaunch it from the DSC launchpad, and we'll do one of the actual landing pads, and if that doesn't work, we'll do an expendable launch. Because I'm pretty sure the craft isn't supposed to flip over halfway through. Oh, here we go. Okay, activation group 9. We will do 150,000, 150,000, 0. Okay, we will do landing pad 3. And we will type in go. All right. Let's see if that was the issue. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have liftoff again. Right off the bat, we got another pretty intense spin, but I guess that's part of the design. It seemed to be fine last time. Alright, we are off the ground, looking pretty good so far. go ahead and... Oh, here we go. So it does make a bit of a inclination change here. But it's... Yeah, it's going a little funky here. Yeah, same issue as before. So we're gonna undo flight. I'm gonna just make sure that we got the right version. We'll re-download and try that again one more time. Downloading craft. Here we go. Any second now. Okay, True Reuse Falcon. Give it one more launch and see if we can problem solve anything here. Other thing I can do, if this still doesn't work, is I think it had an expendable mode where it just discards the booster. So we can try that if this doesn't work as well. Activation group 9. We'll do 200,000. 0-degree orbit. Let's do activation, or we'll do landing pad 3 again. Go. All right. One last shot here. See if this does it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We are launching again. Looking good so far. Yeah, I'm not sure. So the spinning, I'm assuming, is not part of the flight profile. And when it's turning to go 90 degrees, because it's starting at, I think heading is right now set to 0, which makes sense. And then at some point, it decides to pull its heading around to 90 degrees and go like a polar orbit, which is weird. Yep, like right there. So you're telling me, Horizon, that's not supposed to happen right there? That is very strange. Well, let's let it play out and see if it can correct. Oh, you know what? That actually might do it. Because I wonder, I bet the joystick is forcing its command inputs. Let's try this again. I'm not going to restart the game. I shouldn't have to restart the game if it is the joystick. Let's relaunch it. Do a little problem solving on the fly here. Okay. Now one more shot. 200,000. 200,000. 0-degree inclination. We will do landing pad A again. Go. No, I don't think it's the fuel tank center of mass. Everything was looking fine, and then the actual control inputs were a little wonky. I'm betting that he was right on it. It was the joystick. Because the joystick will try to force its own inputs. Since they're not digital inputs, they're all analog. And so if there's like a slight variation on the input... Well, that's not right, is it? Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on. End flight. Undo flight. Undo an exit. Hold on. I just did something wrong real quick. No, you're fine, dude. This I think is on my end here. Double check everything works. Okay. Let's fix that. I did not unplug the joystick. I grabbed the wrong USB cord and unplugged the wrong USB cord. So that's why it was still acting weird. Okay. Here we go. Activation group 9. 200,000. 200,000. Yep. 0 degrees. Set. Landing pad 3. Go. Alright. If this doesn't work at Pedro, then I'll try your suggestion there, launching it on a clean sandbox. I don't think there are nearby crafts, though. Oh, there is one nearby craft. What is that? What's that? Oh, it's the Roni. It's still in the sky. Well, that's weird. Okay. Let's undo completely. Alright, we'll try the clean sandbox approach, and we will re-download it one more time. Troubleshoot all of these last problems here. Let me recopy this link. Copy back to the game. Exit. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to do new game. Launch. Craft. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what the input is. It could definitely be that if he's if his Visi program is changing the user inputs, not the craft directly. That's possible. Clean sandbox though, so it shouldn't be messing around with any other craft. Shouldn't be because I was messing with it in the beginning, because I re-downloaded it, I think, twice after that. So it should be the exact copy of what he sent me. Everything should be in the right place. I double-checked afterwards and undid everything, so it should be like a pristine version of his build. I know that the joystick was causing issues earlier. I know that was an issue. Okay. Let's go to settings real quick. Nothing. Controls. Nope. Nope, didn't want to do that. Remove you. Oh, I don't know. That is not supposed to work like that, I would assume. Yeah, that's weird. For all intents and purposes, it should be launching normally if it was built right. Yeah, I could try changing the launch location, just like do the other launch pad. Maybe it was designed to launch from that? I'm not sure. I would assume that he designed it to launch from the main one. Yeah, I don't think it's the craft. Okay. Activation group 9. There we go. 200,000. 200,000. 0 degree inclination. DSC launchpad. Go. Go for launch. T-minus 16. Everything is running fine so far. Is the ground still looking weird for you guys? Like the shaders are still off for everything? Yeah, that's not working right. I don't know what to say. I've re-downloaded the craft, started a new sandbox. Made sure that everything was unplugged properly. Double checked the controls were all like not funky. Um, yeah, all the control inputs are zeroed out. All right. Well, I don't know what to say about that. That is unfortunate that it didn't work. It looks like it should be super cool. Don't give it out. So I'm not going to hand out the link to this one yet, unless the owner would like me to. So we'll hold on to that one until he's comfortable publishing it. But I wish you the best of luck with that. It seems like a super cool build that we were working on. And we're going to go ahead and move on to some of the other player crafts that were submitted. This one was submitted by Red26, and he just named the craft Red, which is not super descriptive. We can see what that is here. Oh, it's a red rocket. All right, that is very straightforward. Let's see. Is it automated at all? Check its programming. No programming. Okay. Check its staging. We got 6 engines and an inner stage. That's, I'm going to guess, this inner stage is probably supposed to be here. And then the Titan engine, fairing base, and an inner stage. All right, 9,407 meters per second. Pretty powerful rocket. Let's see how it flies. Oh, it is a very red rocket. Oh, wait, hold on. My throttle input's still janky, isn't it? Okay, hold on. Settings. Throttle. It's tether length. Remove. Oh, what is the deal with this now? Hold on. We may actually have to undo the game because I'm still having. Yeah, my throttle input's actually broken here. Okay, hold on. Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to close the game entirely. Yep, just close the game entirely. We're going to reopen the game. See if that fixes it. If that was the issue, then I'm almost positive that we can launch that Falcon 9 properly. Almost positive of it. Where is the submission form? It was in a comment, or not in a comment, but it was in the description of one of my posts here. But I can actually repost the submission form for you if you want. Does my X key work? What do you mean by X key, Pedro? Do you mean like the X button at the top right of a screen that lets you get out of a window X key, or like the X key on my keyboard X key? X key kills throttle. Well, the problem wasn't that the throttle needed to be killed. The problem was the throttle was staying at 0. And yeah, I'm typing X into the chat right now just fine. So my X key isn't like bound or sticking or something. If I had to guess, I would guess that it's still some issue with when I pulled the joystick out. That would be my guess. Is that it like saved the last input from the joystick and was just overriding every other input with that 0 setting on the joystick? That's my best guess. I'm not a particularly technical person though. We are re-pulling up the game now, so it's going to take a minute to load. It's usually not too bad, but with the streaming software running as well, it puts a little bit more demand on the computer. I'm also trying to figure out what the issue was with undo flight. Hold on, real quick, settings. we go. I don't know why my screen resolution changed. You guys are seeing the game now? Yes? Okay, perfect. Let's, you know what? If that was the issue and it was still my throttle dropping back down to 0, then I think if it's fixed here, I want to go back and try that again. Hey, there we go. Okay, so throttle is now responding properly. So here's what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and launch the red rocket. But then once we're done testing this, I want to go back and test the Falcon 9. Because I want to make sure that Horizon Innovation gets justice for his design and the work he put in. Do I have Esther 2 on mobile or just PC? I've actually got it on my phone and tablet as well. I've had it on PC longer, though. I bought it on Steam years ago. Yeah, I don't know. The game's just not cooperating with me today. Lock. There we go. Now it seems to be working pretty good. Okay, let's take a look at my orbit. We are on track. Not a ton of thrust out of this thing, but that's okay. It doesn't have to have a ton of thrust. Get rid of all those input sliders. Don't need those right now. Alright, we are on track. I'm going to go ahead and just let it follow prograde vector here. We will let it go up into orbit. First stage is depleted. Second stage is going now. We are almost in orbit at this point. We are at 200,000 kilometers. I will go ahead and reset the throttle there. Very, very close to orbit. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. I did that wrong. I missed my orbit. Whoops. Hold on. We can fix this, though. Nope, we can't. Relaunch. We'll go back to the original launch pad, though. That was a mistake on my part. I missed my Apple Appsys. Just time warped right through it on accident. But no matter, we can relaunch because it is just a video game after all, and we're not losing millions and millions of dollars every time we fail to launch a craft. So it's no biggie. Go ahead and let it follow prograde for a bit. Actually, we'll hold it there for a second. Okay. And we are off nominal trajectory at this point. I'm going to go ahead and go horizontal. First stage is depleted. We will go ahead and light our second stage booster. 162, 3, 4, 5. Throttle all the way up. There we go. $200,000. Okay. This time, not going to miss it. There we go. We are at apoapsis. And we should be, here we go, closing in on orbit now. 120, 130, 40, 50, 70, 80, 90, 200,000. All right, perfect. In orbit, nice and easy. See, we've got the command ship on the side here. Pretty stylish rocket overall. I don't hate it. It's a pretty simple design for sure, but I like it. And then it's got an interstage here, I assume is to deploy the payload if it had one. Yeah, overall pretty decent. Nothing to complain about. Definitely works if you fly it right, which apparently I can't do tonight. So I'm going to go ahead, copy that link, and share it with you all in the chat. You guys can check it out there. I would recommend giving them all upvotes. Would love to share the love with other creators here. Okay. All right, let's try this again. here we go. Let's go back to the Falcon 9 beta. Let's see if we can make this guy work for real this time. I think we've got the power to do this right. Okay, launch. We are in a blank sandbox, hopefully. Input issue was fixed with the joystick, so that should not be an issue anymore. Everything should work just fine. Let me make sure. Yeah. Throttle was fixed. 200,000, 200,000, 0. We'll go for landing pad 3 and go for launch. Here we go. One last time for the win. Let's see if we can get this guy to actually work. Counting down in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have liftoff, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work this time. Hi Boom, welcome back to the stream. I haven't named a guy after you, haven't been making any astronauts to name him. Don't you worry though. We've got a special plan for you. In the meantime, we're trying to make sure that this Falcon 9 is actually working the way it should be. I think we've eliminated all the variables at this point that would be causing it to fail. So, let's see if it'll actually launch. So far, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, it's looking real good, actually. I'm not seeing any issues so far with the inputs being jacked up. We are still good for launch. All right. We are coming up to the upper atmosphere at this point. Our thrust to weight ratio is sitting right at a nice 2.4. Very nice. Orbital velocity is at 1,200 meters per second at this point. I think we are good here. Okay. Boost back initiated. Look at that. So far, so good. Our upper stage is tearing off in the right direction. Boost back burn is a go. We've got a lot of velocity to kill. It is looking great at this point. Look at that. So we've only got 3 engines burning for the boost back burn here. That's interesting. Don't know where our other guy. Let's turn craft orbits on. I think we're out of physics range for him, so he's not burning anymore, but we got plenty of time at this point. Coast phase. All right. And we are switching crafts automatically. At this point I am only controlling the camera. So this is all on the craft's own programming. What is this? We've got a test weight here. 8,386 kilogram test weight. Nice. Yeah, this is awesome. Look at that. So far, this is going beautifully. I'm not seeing any issues with it at this point. Orbital insertion phase. Delta V for parking orbit. We've got another 1,400 meters per second of delta V to go. Go ahead and speed up time a little bit here. 700, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're at a parking orbit, and the game is automatically switching back to our booster stage because we have to land this guy successfully. It's not a Falcon 9 mission until you've landed a booster. Alright, here we go. Lateral distance to target 9.3 kilometers. Altitude 57 kilometers. Coming in nicely now. I want to see these grid fins actually operating. I can select them. These like miniature wings. That's a lot of wings. Let's set the camera there so I can zoom in on these guys. Nice. Oh, he's even got the curvature on these down. Those are beautifully done. The Earth's surface is a dark void. Let me take a look at... Yeah, I can see it on the stream output. Trust me, it looks beautiful on my end. It's unfortunate that you guys are seeing this visual glitch. I thought maybe resetting the game would have fixed it, but apparently not. Okay, we are 800 meters above the target, or off the target now. Coming down, let's see if it can stick the landing. At this point, we are just scooting towards our landing zone. Here, I'll keep the camera focused up. That way, you guys don't have to look at the dark void. Now you can just look at the sun. Ah, but that's no fun. We're actually going to see the landing here. We gotta be looking down at this. There we go. Let's do a cinematic camera. Legs down. Oh, look at that. We have a successful landing of our booster. That is awesome. Okay. Code is requesting confirmation to switch to second stage. Input 1 to switch, or press cancel not to switch. Okay, so we will go ahead and switch to our second stage and see what it is up to. Zakir thinks it's the time of day and ambient light setting. That might be it. Could be it. I'm not sure, though. Let's see. Third burn here to 200,000 meters. Okay, here we go. Apoapsis error 2.5%. Periapsis error 9.55% to 200,000. Landing error 4.50%. Payload deployment at an altitude of 199.6 kilometers and a speed of 3,126 kilometers. We are in orbit. Let's go ahead and deploy the payload. Beautiful. So is the code at this point done? Or is there some other like deorbiting of the upper stage here that we're waiting for now? Nope, seems to be done. Okay, we will point retrograde and deorbit the bad boy. Awesome. All right, Falcon 9 is a success. It is beautiful. I love that flight program. 10 out of 10. Can't share it with you guys because it's still in development and he doesn't want it out to the public just yet, but it is awesome. Highly recommend you check it out when he does post it. Let's go ahead and queue up our next submission here. And it is the Mini Starship Super Heavy from MLT Space, which, interesting enough, I want to check this out. Okay, we got a very shiny guy. Let's check it out. Let's see what this guy's got. Getting close to posting it. Awesome. Nice to see it working. I like the second version I sent. They're a tiny bit different. Can't be shared just yet, but I am getting close to posting it. Well, when you do post it, I would love to see it. In the meantime, we do have a starship here to test. I'm going to give this guy just a quick test flight, see what it's got. Um, um, Interesting. Is there supposed to be like a script here that I missed? If this is automated, then that's a little embarrassing. I don't automate most of my crafts. I like to fly them manually. That's not much of a... That's it? That's the code? Okay. Not really much of a code. Got a whole stinking mess of engines down here, all kind of clipping together. Staging. 25 engines. And then 2 engines. Are there only 2 engines, or is this supposed to be automated somehow? From the way it's built, I would assume it's supposed to be automated, but I'm not seeing any code. Weird. Alright, well, let's launch it and just see what it does. I can also... Hold on, let me post this. Let me check the download page, actually. I've just been copying the link. I haven't been going to the page. Is there any information on how it's supposed to work? No, there is not. So there are 25 engines on this guy. Yeah. Okay. This is kind of a broken build, it would seem, which is unfortunate. It looked cool, but doesn't seem to work. Are people allowed to send more than one craft? Yes, but that does not necessarily mean that I will check out your craft. Because if like I get a bunch of craft, I'm gonna probably cherry pick them. Okay, Super Heavy Mini. The mini starship Super Heavy was a no-go. Oops. I accidentally disconnected it. There we go. And this said it had a Visi script. Let's check out the Visi program here. Yep, it does have a Visi script. All right. Well, let's see what it has to offer us. Here we go. This guy's off the ground. And I don't know exactly what the goal of this mission is, so I'm just going to let it run its course and see what happens. I'm going to guess that's going to try and land. Whoop. What was that? We just shed some payload? What's that? What just flew off the craft here? Hold on. Is that an engine? Did we lose an engine? Uh-oh, we lost an engine. Okay, we are falling, and we are 1 engine shy. Oh! Not a successful landing, though. Nope. 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 Missed the landing pad. I don't think that engine was supposed to fall off. But whoever built this put enough gyroscopes on it to ride a battleship, because it still didn't tip over, which kind of cheating using, a godsend number of gyros. Where are these guys? How many does he have here? Auto propellant tanks. Is this whole fuel tank a gyroscope? All right, that's pretty intense. I'll go ahead and share the link to that one. That was Super Heavy Vizzy from Red 26. Pretty interesting. At least it works. But didn't quite stick the landing there. So maybe someone can go in there and give him some tips on how to program a landing script in Vizzy. I certainly can't. I am not very good at Vizzy. In the meantime, I said that we would be doing a landing mission on TT, and I think that's what we're going to do in our last couple of minutes here. So I'm going to pull up an old design that I made quite a while ago. It is what I call the Silero Express, and it should have more than enough Delta V to get a small lander to TT. We've got 4 main launch engines, and then 3 engines here, which, you know what, I'm actually going to make some adjustments while we're at it. I don't think I need 3 engines on this stage. And they're vacuum stages, so they should have fully expanded nozzles already. So we're gonna make some tweaks here to make this a little bit more efficient of a design. We've got a gas gen 1 with a Bell engine. Let's go ahead and select this guy and do a 2-way symmetry. Should be good. Reattach that guy. And then we have one more stage up here, which I'm going to switch back to gas generator 1. We've got 9,157 meters per second to work with here. And then what's our payload? We've got just this little satellite right here. Okay, so let's build a new payload. Delete that guy. What do we want? What do we want in a lander that's going to land on a super tiny, basically asteroid? And do we want it to be a manned mission? I think probably not a manned mission. I'm going to guess not a manned mission. Probably don't want to send guys on a one-way trip to a super tiny asteroid on a relatively small rocket. So we'll do an automated mission here. And I want to put a tiny engine on this guy. Pressure fed, as small as it gets. Real small engine here. Nozzle throat side all the way down. Let's take a look at TT right now. Gimbal range can be pretty high. Chamber pressure all the way down. We still have a thrust to weight ratio right now of 2.97 for a TT landing. So that is, that's too much at this point. Trying to think of things we can do. What do we need to land on a super tiny planet? Well, we're going to need landing gear, probably. But they need to be super small. Even that is kind of overkill. So what we can do, I'm going to tinker panel these. Let's scale these down in size a bit. Which, I don't usually use tinker panel, but for this one I'm just making them smaller landing gear. I feel like that's not really cheating. Okay, so landing gear deploy, just like that. We can have a steeper deploy angle, and then I can move these. Actually, they're probably fine right where they are. Let's take a look next at the fuel tanks, make them look a little better. We'll do... We could do the hexagonal. That doesn't look too bad. Let's do an upper portion of this guy, and he's going to be our battery. Which that brings our thrust to weight ratio down nicely. Oh, you know what? I've still got my grid size super high. Okay, we've got our battery set up. Now let's take a look at throwing a gyroscope on this guy. It does not need to be that big, though. Okay, we've got a gyroscope. That is probably enough power already. We do not need much for this mission. I mean, this lander is going to be pretty minimalistic in the hardware department. Don't even need much in the way of solar panels. Although I don't know why they're black like that. That's weird. There we go. Let's do a different one though. We'll do the advanced pattern. Okay. We've got our solar panels. We'll do 4 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. They don't need to be that long. And let's adjust their position. I want them to sit kind of on top of this. Right about there. Bring the width in a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so we've got our solar panels, we've got a battery, we've got our gyroscope sitting here. What else do we need on a lander? Well, it wouldn't hurt to have some lights. We could do some landing lights. Let's see, that's 135. We will hide the base. Bring them out so they're pointing towards the ground, but not quite that much. Bring them a little out like that. Let's bring up the range a little bit as well. We could also do rectangular. And we'll make 4 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got our landing lights set up. And we'll set them on command group 1. Now let's do some more like blinking pattern lights like that. We'll do a double blink. Like that. Blink frequency of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do another one on the opposite side of the landing legs, but we will have an offset of 0.5. I also have no idea why they've chosen that awful color for them. Let's do green and red for the landing lights here. Also gonna have to make this symmetrical like so. We could use a camera for sure. Could definitely use a camera. Let's go ahead and add. Do we want to have just like a regular camera, or do we want a like a camera on an arm? We could do like a little extending arm that comes off the craft. Actually, we could make it the top of the craft right here. So we've got. Let's do a hinge. Wait. We'll do a rotating base first. Then we'll put a hinge on top of the rotator and a piston on top of that. Excalibur, it was nice to have you on the stream. Appreciate you, bud. You have a good night as well. Okay, so we've got another hinge here, and then I'll put a camera on top of this guy. Where is the camera part? There it is. Got it. And we will, let's rotate him around like that. Actually, let's do something else. Let's do a fuel tank on it. Shoot, I don't want it to connect to that though. There we go. Side of the fuel tank. 180. Like so. Scale this down a little bit. No, not what I wanted. Stop connecting to things weirdly. No. There we go. Okay, so we've got our camera attached to our camera part. Pad position. We'll also increase our field of view. We'll have a full field of view, and we'll have our slider input 4 for the field of view. Next, we need. Actually, we probably shouldn't do slider 4. Hold on. Yaw, roll, pitch, throttle. Okay, no, we'll do slider 4. We're going to have to manually activate and deactivate these, I fear. So how do we want to do this? Well, we can have slider 1 be our rotating base. That's fine. We're going to need 180 degrees of range, though, to get a full 360. Turn our speed down nice and low. Slider 2 can be our shoulder joint, which makes sense. We're going to want that to be pretty low as well. A range of 90 degrees, so it goes from vertical to that. Yep, that makes sense. This guy will want a pretty low speed as well, but it can be a little faster. I'm actually going to give him a slightly condensed range. The piston here, let's give it a good range, but we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then all of these will be on activation group 2 so that I can get it into position and turn it off, and then just use the camera. Like that. Okay, perfect. So we've got that set up. That's good. Let's put another camera on it as well. We can put one on the side, basically pointing towards the bottom. Yeah, the 4 sliders is a godsend. I really do like having those extra control inputs. It's very, very nice to have just a couple extra sliders to do stuff like this with. We're going to tuck this guy in, actually, like that. And then I want to do a ring of fuel tanks around it. It's too big. Shrink this guy down. Set him up right there. We'll make him a little bigger. We'll do some nose cones like this on the ends, and then we'll do like a 6-way symmetry for this guy to do our... basically, these are cosmetic fuel tanks. Like that. We'll do... Oops, not what I wanted. That can still be... Actually, we'll do a gray for the bottom tank here. That looks good. For these, we'll do the insulation texture for all of them. Looking good. 5, 6. Okay, and then let's do... Increase the length a little bit. Perfect. So that gives us a pretty solid fuel tank base like that. We can just get the cone to stick out from those a tiny little bit right there. And then let's add our camera to this guy, and we'll rotate him around. So that is our landing camera right there. And we'll scoot him in. Well, let's scoot him in like that, basically. And then I think pad position is what I want to go with here. Yeah, Christmas theme lights. Well, the red and green lights are pretty standard. But I'm actually thinking maybe not doing red and green, just doing like a cream, like a light, like that. That might actually look a little better. So like red and green lights are really standard on aircraft and ships for your port and starboard side lights. But for a spacecraft with 4-way symmetry, I don't think it quite makes as much sense. So we'll just do that. I also want to put just like a couple little things on this guy as like our experiment arm. So we've got like a bunch of different, scientific tools or experiments that we can move around. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. A bunch of different little things we can have like attached to this guy. There we go. Do like I'm thinking like a drill bit arm, Maybe put a nose cone on this guy. Too big. There we go. Sup, Boom. Welcome back to the stream. We don't have any astronauts named after you quite yet. Okay. We're going to make a drill bit arm, though. I want to change... there's no fuel in it. That's good. Rounded. Straight nose cone. What texture should we do for a drill bit arm? Do the crossbeam texture. And actually... Yeah, mobile not super great with lights. You're absolutely correct. My computer can handle it pretty well, but I don't push it usually. So we've got a little drill bit arm on top of our camera here, which could be good for sample taking because I can bend this over. I'm actually thinking maybe a drill bit's not the tool for this. We could have like a little sensor here though. Or we could put the camera on it and rotate it. That actually might be a better place for the camera, honestly. Right there. I wish there was a way to hide the pad though and just have the camera part on its own. Oh, stream name still from the last stream, is it? Well, let's edit that real quick. I didn't realize that was the same. Launching, or we'll call it testing your user submitted crafts. There we go. Save it. Boom, fixed. It was like it was never like that. Okay, so we've got 650 meters per second now on this guy. Which, honestly, that should be a little higher with the fuel line. Fuel line, 935 meters per second. That makes a little bit more sense. We can increase our nozzle length here. Actually, not nozzle length. Let's increase our size just a smidge. Just a smidge. No, actually, no. 1.28 is good. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine for a lander. That's plenty of delta V. Okay, let's try it. Let's connect this guy right there. I'm going to make that super small. I'm also going to make that a little shorter. It does not need to be that long. Let's make it 0.25. Is that too short? That's too short. 0.5 then. 1. That's better. Okay, so we've got our payload lined up and ready to go. Got that guy there. Let's reconnect our fairings onto the craft. Like so. And before we launch, we always have to make sure that our staging is corrected. Let's see. We've got 4 engines. Those are our main engines. Those are on the right stage. This does not need to be there, though. Pixie engine and the landing legs. Let's send those up there. All right, we've got our 2 second stage engines. Those are in the right place. This guy should actually come down to like here, though. Well, actually, let's have stage 2 between stage 3 and 4. Second stage separator. Third stage engine. Payload separation. Okay. Everything should be set up properly. I think we are good to go for this mission. We will go ahead and... Actually, whoop. Hold on. Relaunch. I just remembered TT is on an inclined orbit, so we're going to have to... think of a different way to do that. Let's go to map. Where is our guy TT? He is right here. Let's select him. Now he is on a 160 inclination orbit, which means he is going down. I guess that means he's going down 160 degree inclination. Hold on, what direction? Oh, he is. He is orbiting the wrong direction. Okay. So that's going to increase the complexity of the mission even farther because we're going to have to launch westward. Huh. Okay. Westward 160 degrees. Okay, that is pretty lined up just visually. Next up, so this is kind of a cheating way to do it, but I'm basically lining up our craft by lining up the pitch node. As soon as all those are in line like that. All right, perfect. So we've got our launch window. Throttle up and engage. So we are off, and we are heading westward at an inclination to get to TT here, which is this is going to be a little bit more of a tricky orbit to hit. Can throttle down a little bit. So far, so good. 40-kilometer orbit. We're going to scale down our thrust-to-weight ratio. We are really cruising here with this rocket. I'm going to pitch over pretty hard at this point. Okay, first stage is expended. Second stage is a go, and we are basically burning horizontal at this point. There we go. All right, our orbit is looking pretty good so far. We just got to accelerate at this point. We've got 1 minute till we are at our apoapsis, which is perfectly fine. Going to try and extend that out a little bit more, though. By pitching up slightly, we can keep our apoapsis up, and then I can pitch back down as we approach orbital insertion here. Boom. Okay, we are in orbit. Looking good so far. Now I need to check to see how in line is our orbit with TT's. It's actually pretty close. That looks pretty good so far. So from here, we need to actually plan our intercept. So I'm thinking probably about here is where we're going to want to start our burn. Sensitivity is good. Okay, so we do have, that's a pretty good closest point of approach. Let's scale that back just a little bit here. Where's our intercept? That should be an intercept, right? Are we out of, are we not on the plane though? We're not on the plane, okay. I need to make a correction burn then. If we can just cross its orbital plane, doesn't have to necessarily be on it. Nope, that's not helping. Okay, so we're going to need to make a inclination change here. It is very hard to tell what our lineup is. So what I'm going to have to do is eyeball it. What's our inclination? Actually, I can do this. We're at 159.45. What is 160.43? Man, that is a very small difference here. Unless our inclinations are just out of phase with each other. That's my only other guess, but they seem to be pretty close. Yeah, they should be pretty much close enough. 159 degrees and 160 degrees is not a big enough difference at this range. We may just need to brute force this. That's what we're going to do. We're going to brute force it, because I have... Whoops. Okay, well... I have 3,384 meters per second of delta V to work with on the stage before I accidentally separated our second stage, which is fine. That's fine. We can still make this work. Turn the sensitivity down. That is touching it. Oh, we're super close now. What are we missing here? TT is a hard one to hit. Let's try burning radial out, maybe. Just trying to eyeball all these measurements, which is probably not advisable. We're getting another intercept with a planet that I don't care about. Oh, there it was. There, we had it. We had it just there. Let's go back a little bit in that direction. There we are. All right, 1403 meters per second gets us into a sphere of influence. I think we can get us a little closer, though. Okay, that's us right there. So we've got a lock on it. Burn time 7.3 minutes. Not enough burn time. We're gonna have to restart. I gotta adjust our rocket here. It does not have the specs to do this mission. Unfortunate, but we're learning. We're learning here. So we've got pretty much the right lineup. We've got way too much delta V, or way too much thrust on our first stage to really justify it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase the amount of fuel that we have on our second stage here. So these are our second stage tanks. We can make this guy a 6-meter long tank like that. Let's check our fairing separation engines here. That looks good. Put those on the same stage. There we go. Second stage separator and the pixie stage. That looks good. Delta V, 9,085. Make that first stage fuel tank a little bit longer by like 2.5 meters. 9,234. Yeah, that looks better. I think we might be able to run with that. We'll make this fuel tank a little bit bigger one more time. Bring it out to 8 meters. Like that. Okay, so that is the extended version of this guy complete. Let's try it again. All right, throttle up. Nope, throttle down because we haven't aligned our rocket with TT yet. Select him. I want to get rid of craft icons, planet orbits. Yeah, well, let's just have the only thing we need right now is our target. Make sure that we're pointing in the right direction as well. Get that lined up right there. Okay, so we need to be right about here. That's as lined up as we're going to get with its orbit. Actually, would I want a shallower? No, I'd want a slightly steeper. That's probably fine. Right about there. Okay, so we'll go with that. Start flying west right away. Pitch over. Probably should have been pitching over a little sooner, but that's okay. We are on course so far, so good. I'm just going to bring my thrust down nice and low and kind of let this first stage carry us up for a while. %5 fuel remaining on this guy. And second stage burn is initiated. Here we go. Payload's falling away. We are in space at this point. I'm going to go ahead and just burn towards the horizon. Let this guy go. Get us into orbit. We are starting to drop back down. What is our vertical velocity? It is dropping and decreasing. $97. All right, it is holding. Pitch up slightly more. I want to bring my vertical velocity down a little bit here. There we go. Got that under control. We are back on our way into orbit now. Oop, that was too far. Almost there. There we go. Last couple of seconds of burn, and we are in orbit. Perfect. Okay, let us see where we stand now with TT. It should be... Oh, it's pretty close to being lined up. Hey, Dayjump, how you doing? I'm doing well. We just finished up testing out everyone's builds, and now we are doing a landing probe to the moon TT. It's not much of a moon as it is a tiny, teeny tiny asteroid, and it is proving to be a difficult little thing to try and land on. Just getting to it is tricky because of its inclination, which is so different from Droo's. Ah, this is too sensitive too. I need to remember to turn that sensitivity down. Okay, let's try turning into it a little bit here. A little bit more. And a little bit back. That should be pretty close at this point. Yeah, we're real close now. Okay, so I need to go a lot more on that guy. And then bring us back down. Bring us in here. Okay, at this point I should be able to finagle. I should be able to finagle a maneuver at this point. If I bring my mouse sensitivity down even lower, it is such a touchy little thing to get to. One of the challenges is its gravity well is so small that actually like finding it is pretty difficult. Put some more burn direction that way. So we're kind of like overlapping it at this point. Oh, that is so close to an interceptor right there. We're so close. Okay, let's burn radial out a little bit longer. I'm thinking that's what we need to do now, is burn radial out. Because now my orbit kind of intercepts it there. Bingo! That's our guy right there. Okay, so we found our orbit. We've got 70 seconds of burn time here, 10-minute arrival. Lock it. Burn towards it. Now we are going to have to switch to our upper stage here, but we will be able to exhaust the last of our second stage before we have to switch engines. Okay, second stage is out. We are on to our third stage, and we're gonna have to fast forward this. This is gonna be quite the burn, and we're gonna lose some accuracy here. So we're gonna have to make a pretty big correction burn after this. But we've got plenty of delta V, and as soon as we're around it, we shouldn't have to burn too much fuel to get into orbit around it, which is the nice thing. Just have to kill all of our velocity. Two minutes burn time remaining. Still not recommended for accuracy. And yeah, it's a little off, but I think we can compensate for it. Accuracy is going up now because we're at low accuracy. It might just be a low accuracy. Yeah, we're a little off. You can see the orbit line is stretching away from where we want it to be. Okay. Okay, so we've got that orbit sitting there. Pause the game, and let's take a look at where we stand right now. We are undershooting it considerably. So first thing is let's correct that. And then bring our periapsis back down. And we've got ourselves an intercept. That wasn't too bad for a correction burn. 40 meters per second. No sweat. Engine is spooling up again. 25, 22, 10. Perfect. So we are on our course. We've still got 2,000 meters per second of delta V remaining on our booster here, which is plenty, I think, to get this mission done. We'll go ahead and put ourselves on a retrograde target now. Actually, let's bring it prograde. Let's sit here. Let's think about what we want to do. We want to increase or decrease the change in velocity between us and TT at this point. So what we can do is burn that way, burn that way. Actually, scrap that. Scrap that. Instead, what I'm going to do is try and get as close to TT as possible. We're at 18.7. Never mind. That is as close as possible already. We are coming in very closely to this tiny little asteroid. Oh. I hate it when that happens. Dang it. Alright. Retrograde. Or no, we're good. We're good. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, so I'm retrograde right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and light our engines up. Without colliding with the planet. Okay. There we go. So we are in a pretty good orbital approach at this point. This hunk of rock is spinning real quick. Okay, we are at our periapsis basically, so I'm going to go ahead and light our engine. We're just going to very gingerly bring us into an orbital configuration here. 9.2 kilometers is a little much. Let's pitch that up a little bit. 8 kilometers. Ooh, that is really close to the surface. And we are almost at periapsis. I'm going to drop this guy down. We're at 30 seconds to periapsis. Just barely hovering over the surface of this planet. 75, 74, 3, 2. Let's start off a little bit more. No sticky keys. I don't want you. Okay, 9.4 kilometers. That is as tight of an orbit around the planet as we can get. Let's just go ahead and make sure that we don't collide with any particularly high mountains. I think we're fine, though. Yep, we are doing good in that department. I'm going to go ahead and wait till we're on the light side of the planet first. Alright, right there should be good. I'm going to go ahead and detach our probe, activate our landing equipment, and light our engines. Now this final descent engine is incredibly weak, which is by design. We don't want a very powerful engine here. We want as much control over our descent as possible. And having a super powerful engine can be an issue when it comes to stuff like that. Okay, we are at 20% or 20 meters per second velocity. And we are at 4,000 meters and dropping. I'm going to go ahead and bring our lights up. So we can see as we descend. .50 meters per second and dropping. Thrust weight ratio is looking good. Although I fear we may actually be too close here. Hard to tell. Nope, my lights have got something now. 40 meters per second. Oh! Hard crash. Unfortunate. But the lander is mostly intact. Let's see if we can't right it. Got a big gyroscope on this guy. Yeah, we can right this thing. The terrain is just so harsh. But, you know what? We've got it mostly righted at this point. Let's go ahead and pull up our camera controls. Slider 1, 2, 3, and 4, I believe. Now, we need to try and point our camera in a productive direction. So let's rotate it. Hold on, I need to activate this first, don't I? Oh, it's just very slow. Okay. Okay, slider 2. Let's point it down like that. Extend the camera boom out as much as we can. And then let's point it towards the ground. Oh, that's right. I forgot that we have a variable zoom camera. So we can zoom in with this guy, which is nice. Let's leave it activated. Maybe rotate this way. What's over here to see? Pretty dark from the looks of it. Let's see if we can get some sunshine here. Oh, there was some sunshine. There we go. Okay. Easier to land at the North and South Poles? I would assume so. TT actually probably should have given my engine a little bit more power. Okay. Just kind of scanning the surface at this point. It looks good though. Although the camera is upside down. I should have put like a rotating hinge at the very end of the arm so we could rotate that around. Alright, that's okay. We'll save an exit here. That was a fun little mission. I think we can do a better mission to TT, and I think next week's stream we'll do something a little bit more involved. Maybe a manned mission. Um, yeah, we could definitely do something a little bit more creative than just crash land a probe on the surface of a tiny asteroid. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's stream. Thank you guys for submitting crafts if you did. I definitely want to do another stream like that in the future where we do more like testing your guys' designs and seeing what you guys have to offer. It was super fun hanging out with you guys this week, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I will see all of you in the next video. You guys have a good one.